Apple versus Facebook.
What you need to know right now. Hi, I'm Sam Ashdown.
And I'm Phil Jones, and welcome to another edition of Whiteboard Wednesday.
This is a very topical one today because we're talking about something that's happening literally as we record this. It's all kicking off, isn't it, in America?
The big tech is going after each other.
I got taught yesterday how to say, I've forgotten it again now, behemoth. The two behemoths, two of the biggest four companies in the world, Facebook and Apple, are facing off because Apple are saying they don't want Facebook to use their devices' data any longer.
And Facebook are saying that it's not fair, it goes against competition rules, and it's going to affect many small businesses. So all of a sudden Facebook are trying to pretend like they're the huge fan of small businesses.
The small business champion, of course you are, Facebook, of course. So what's it going to affect? Well, it's going to affect any device that you might have, or that your audience may have, that uses iOS, which is the operating system that Apple use on mobile devices.
Yes, it's not totally clear yet whether MacBooks will be included. I believe, and we believe, that it will be eventually, but at the moment it just says mobile devices, which include iMacs, iPads and iPhones.
iMacs aren't really that mobile.
I didn't mean iMacs.
iPads
and iPhones.
iPhones, but also Dave said to me today as well that it's also probably going to include Apple Watches.
Yes.
And something else he said as well.
Yes, Apple Watches are on OS Watch, which is...
Oh, and Apple TV.
Who has an Apple TV?
Who knows? Why are they doing it? Why do they say they're doing it, Apple?
Why they say they're doing it for privacy reasons. And to be fair to Apple, at the moment they are quite good in terms of privacy. They lead in the big tech world in terms of data protection and data privacy. And
they could actually use and abuse data in a much bigger way than they do. But if we believe them, and let's say we do, they don't track things like our iMessages. They don't track things that are associated with your iCloud. So for example, at the moment, Siri isn't connected to an iCloud account. This is something that they've said very strongly. Whereas obviously Alexa hears all kinds of things that could be used and retargeted with. And something that you found out this week, which was quite scary, about WhatsApp.
Yeah, so, and actually Facebook Messenger do this as well. It's the same company, the same kind of platform, is when you post a link in WhatsApp or a link in Messenger, that's tracked and that's logged as in this is what you've been talking about, and it'll be sold as information to advertisers later on if they want to target you using a certain demographic.
Pretty scary, really. The fact that every time you send what you think is a private message, it's actually being tracked by somebody else. We were talking yesterday about whether they're using our microphones. You don't think that they are. Some of us think that they are. Some of us have talked about cat food and it's appeared on our news feed. So it is a bit scary, and clearly there is a line that Apple think that Facebook have crossed, and because ultimately it is actually Apple's data that Facebook is then using and then reselling to people, that's what they're most concerned about, and that's what they want to stop. So when is this actually happening, Phil?
It happens...
Feels like a newsreader there. So when, Phil?
It's going to slowly roll out over the next 6 months to the middle of 2021. It first launched in the first couple of weeks in January, and slowly they'll roll it out. We expect changes throughout as Apple start to learn what works, and Apple clearly have an agenda of some sort. We can guess to what that is. I mean, they're attacking Facebook at the heart of Facebook's income. Mm-hmm. What Apple then do with that down the line in terms of whether they make their own ad platform, whether they made a really clever decision last year where Apple halved the amount of tax a app developer would pay under a certain threshold. I think it was $1 million, which shows that they support small business. So that kind of disarms Facebook argument right now. But what they are going to do is they're now going to take a 30% tax on all app income, which is obviously going to rise, all app store income. It's going to rise because of the Facebook stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk about it at the moment. What we have realised is there's no clear message for small businesses like us. So we've had to go away, all 5 of us in Firewave have gone away to try and find the source of the data and the information, the updates as they happen, how it's going to affect everybody, and it's not clear at all. In fact, even the tabloids have not yet picked up on this topic.
I think I've worked out why. I think it's because Facebook are on the attack in terms of this isn't fair, you're destroying competition, and Apple, who hold all the cards right now, don't have to respond, because all they've said is this is for privacy and to help to defend people about being advertised when they don't want to be, and that is where they've drawn the line. They've not engaged in any kind of arguments. I mean, Facebook have spent $1 billion trying to defend this, so it's a big thing, and Facebook have not responded at all, apart from one or two tiny statements. Sorry, Apple haven't responded, apart from one or two small statements to say that, just to reiterate that why they're doing it, it's for people's privacy. They've not responded in any technical manner whatsoever.
I think in the Apple versus Facebook war, if you wanted to look like that, Apple is going to win, because ultimately it's Apple's devices, Apple's data. It's Apple gets to call the shots and Facebook doesn't. And for all Facebook's fighting, I don't think they're going to get anywhere. That's my prediction, but obviously predictions are very dangerous. But what does it mean for small businesses? As you watch this, you probably run an estate agency, and you probably run it pretty much on your own or with a very, very small team. So what does it mean for you? Because you who have been putting 10 or 20 quid on a boost every now and again, or upping it to £100 for a month and scaring yourself a little bit, what does it mean for you as an advertiser on Facebook? Well, you are going to start noticing some changes, and these changes are to your custom audiences. Now, we're not going to go into detail here about it. What we do suggest is, depending on where you're watching this, if you're not watching this video in the Facebook group that we run, then get yourself over to there, and we've got a much more in-depth, probably about a half an hour long video on it. But very briefly, it's going to affect your custom audiences and your interest audience. So when you target somebody by the interest and behaviour that they display online, when you target somebody who has been to a website, and you target somebody who is a lookalike audience, those three are going to change and are going to be much less reliable.
Yeah, so what to do, two people watching really. One is
two people watching.
There's two types of people watching. Those of you that do ads and those of you that don't. Mm-hmm. And those of you that do ads, it's not the end of the world. You need to keep what you're doing if it's working and monitor it. It is going to change down the line, and keep monitoring it, and keep watching our videos to learn how you can progress in terms of what you need to change audience-wise.
Yeah.
If you don't do ads over the next 6-12 months, it's probably the time to trial it.
Your competitors are going to go running for the hills.
They'll be cheaper than ever because more people come off them. Facebook are going to react in some way where they need advertisers to get on there.
So they might incentivise you to advertise?
Yeah, they are going to incentivise. And you can play around with what's happening. As Facebook learns, they need you to learn, and therefore they're going to show it to a wider audience and going to try and help you as much as possible. So
yeah, they want to try and replace the lost data by you advertising and then seeing who clicks on your ads, because ultimately everything that's happening inside Facebook is unchanged. It's what's happening outside Facebook that's changed. So where Facebook go and get audiences from somewhere else and then offer you those audiences inside Facebook, that's the bit that's going to change. So the ads that you're seeing might become less relevant, and when you try and target, you're not going to be able to target as maybe laser sharp as you did. So you need to get better at using bigger audiences, basically, which means your copy needs to be better, your images need to be better, and where it's going to needs to be better. And that's something we can help with, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
So thanks for watching this Whiteboard Wednesday. If you're not watching this in our Firewave group, you need to be in the Firewave group so that you can get access to information like this. If you are already watching in the Firewave group and you'd like to know more about this topic, if maybe you're not a Firewave member, you'd like to consider coming to a workshop or attending one of our online sessions, then just drop us a message and we'll be very happy to help. But we'll see you on the next Whiteboard Wednesday. Thanks for watching.
Bye.